below. I like NatWest because they're closest to where I live, and I've heard lots of people say really good things about First Direct, who are a purely online bank and offer 24-hour phone support, which is good if you're nocturnal. You're going to need a bit of money in the bank when you first start up to pay for setup costs. This may include things like computer, software, mobile phones, stationery, business cards and hosting. I recommend you get a laptop instead of a desktop. They're a bit more expensive, but you can take them to client meetings, do work on the train, and if there's a sudden power cut, you don't lose half an hour of work. Which brings me to another point. Make sure you back up all your work. An external drive is a good idea, but it's no good if it's in the same place as your computer. You should keep them separate in case they're stolen or your house blows up. I use Dropbox, which saves my files to the internet every time I make a change. It's free up to 2 gigabytes, and it also lets you share files between other users, which is much better than emailing big files to clients. To save a bit of money, get Skype, which lets you make phone calls over the internet for free. I didn't want to give my mobile number out to clients because they would call really early in the morning sometimes, so I got a Skype number, and this is like a London number. It's just a normal landline number, and it calls your Skype account, and clients can leave answer phone messages there. Now you're going to need to work out how much you should charge. In my experience, the majority of young freelancers charge far too little. Not only is this bad for you, but it's bad for the industry. It gives a misrepresentation of the value of our services. As the saying goes, time is money. If you value your time, charge more for it. The less you charge for your time, the less you appear to value it, and the less people will take your opinion seriously. Don't be afraid to ask for money up front. It's normal to ask for a 50% deposit before you even start on the project, and that means that if the client cancels the project halfway through, you're not out of pocket. A good way to find out exactly how much you need to charge to break even is to use this nifty little formula. It's actually a bit of a big formula, but I'll try and break it down a bit more. So we're going to use some made-up numbers here to make it easier to work out. So let's pretend our total business expenses are £10,000. Our personal expenses are also £10,000. So that's things like rent, food, socialising, perhaps paying for a holiday. Now we need to work out how many days you're going to work. This is after things like holidays and weekends. So let's say that comes out as 200 days. Now let's say you're going to be at work for 8 hours a day. And of those 8 hours, 80% of your time will be spent on projects that you can actually bill clients for. This doesn't include time to work on personal projects, check Facebook and do all the admin stuff. So realistically, this percentage is going to be a lot lower. Now let's aim to put £11,000 into a savings account every year because it's good to save a bit of money. And you might want to save up for that mansion in Florida. So this works out as an hourly rate of £25 per hour and a break-even rate of £16.50. Based on the calculations, that will be the minimum of what you have to make to stay in profit. The rate calculator that I use can be found on freelanceswitch.com/rate, and it's really good and I recommend you give it a go. You need to keep track of all the money coming in and all the money going out. This is so that you can work out how much tax you need to pay. Keep all your receipts and invoices. I'm really sorry, but I can't talk about freelancing without talking about taxes. I know too many teenage freelancers who are not trading legitimately, and it can lead to a lot of problems further down the line. You cannot call yourself a company until you are registered with Companies House. You cannot call yourself a freelancer or a sole trader until you register as self-employed. If you make money and do not register with the Inland Revenue in 3 months, you are trading illegally. I'm going to very quickly cover what national insurance and tax returns are, but I thought I'd mention what VAT is, since I know some of you in the room are lucky enough to be making a lot of money. You only need to pay VAT if you're earning £68,000 a year or more, although you can pay it voluntarily. This might sound like a dumb idea, but some people think you look more professional if you're registered for VAT. National insurance is something that your employer sorts out if you're employed by someone else. If you're a freelancer, you have to do it yourself. You have to pay £2.40 a week for national insurance, and this covers things like your pension. This rate stays the same regardless of how much you earn, unlike tax returns. You pay this every year, and it's based on a percentage of what you earn. This is the tax return form. It's really long and horrible, and it gives me a nightmare. I'll be filling out my first one this year, and I'm dreading it. But don't worry, because help is at hand. I use an online app called Free Agent, and I upload my bank accounts, my bank statements, and it works out how much tax I need to pay. It also creates invoices that I can send to my clients, and it has a big online community where I can ask questions. It's still pretty daunting though, which is why it's a good idea to prepare yourself for it. The first thing you should do if you're thinking about setting up is to call the business link. Just phone up and say, hi, I'd like to be a freelancer, or I'd like to run my own company. They'll send you a business pack, and you can go on free courses that will help you set up. The free courses are also perfect for networking opportunities, because you'll be in a room full of people who are setting up their own business, and they will most likely be needing your services. You can also get grants and vouchers and free pens, so give them a call and see what they can offer you. So that's about all I can fit in on the subject in the time I have. Does anyone have any questions?